Greetings, I'm Chris and I'm going to show you how to delete a product in Capstone. There are a number of things, there are a number of technical things, mechanical things that we need to consider as far as the simulation goes. But there are a lot more other strategic and tactical decisions that are kind of need to be factored in as well, and they're probably the tricky ones. So what I want to do today is go through and show you the mechanical process of getting rid of one, and introduce you to some of the technical kind of the more abstract and strategic sort of things that can influence your decision here. So let's assume I'm in round 2 now, and let's assume that the CEO that was running the company has unexpectedly left, and I've been asked to come in and see what I can do and take over, get the thing running until we can employ somebody else. The first place I'm going to go is have a look at R&D and get a bit of an idea about where things are at the moment. Here's our various products in the segments, and it's interesting. Here's Atom. Atom is one of the ideal spot for Atom is down here, and it's sort of drifted all the way up there. So they didn't do much on that last year. There's been a bit of neglect going on here. Agape is also positioning as a very important element, and that's sort of drifted right up to that end of the segment. So they're away from where they wanted to be. Let's just go and have a bit of a look at this in more detail. We can go to the high end for Atom. And so that's the performance and size is 9.2 and 9.9. Let's go down and have a look at Agape here. Ideal position for Agape with 13% of market share basically, but at the performance of last year they wanted a performance of 4.1 and a size of 9.3. And performance is very important for them. It's 43% of the the market, of the segment, so we need to let's have a bit of a look at that one. Now I'm not going to touch Atom because there's an interesting thing happening with Atom, and I'm going to leave that with you, but watch Atom as we proceed through this exercise. Agape. Now, alright, well, before I rush in and start deleting it, maybe I can, we can R&D it and revise it and sort of, and look at that. So let's just look at that as an option first. I know from my calculations that in round 2, the segment wants 5.4. To reach the ideal heart of the segment, I need to have a performance of 5.4, and I need 8.6 in the size area. So let's have a look and see what that does. There it is, and it's right on where the customer wants to be. That's where ideally that's where I need to be, because 43% of the customers want that and value that. But I have a problem. Okay, well look, first of all it's cost me $1.5 million for that little exercise, and also it's not coming out until July 19. Now bear in mind your numbers could be a bit different than this, because I'm operating in an old industry, and my industry is 2018. The year I'm working in is 2018. If you look at yours, it may be different. But what I don't want is that coming out in any year later than that, and that's too late. That means that all of next year, all of the next year, when I go into 19, I won't be able to touch this. These are going to be locked down, which can be a bit of a problem, because it can be a bit restrictive if I want to go and add a bit more on or take a bit more off. So there's a bit of a problem with this. That's where I'd ideally like to be, but I just can't get it out. It's too big of a job there for the R&D department to turn it around in this year. It's going to wait till next year. So I've done some figuring, and I've decided that I'm going to get rid of Agape. There's another reason why I want to get rid of Agape, and that's because I don't like that name. So perhaps not a real legitimate one, a reason to do it, and probably one I wouldn't take to the board of directors, but between you and I don't like that name. So let's go back up here and undo. We'll just undo now, and we'll go back to undo to official decisions. It doesn't matter because that's the only one I made anyway. That was a bit of rough figuring. Yeah, we're sitting down having a look at our possibilities here, which ones we've got and what we might want to do, and I've decided Agape is going. So there's not much I can do here about the deletion of Agape, but there's quite a bit I can do in marketing. But before I get to marketing, I'm going to production. Now, snapshot here, we're not worried about these. We're looking at Agape. 147,000 left over last year. I didn't sell 147,000. Now, if I'm going to delete that product, I want to kind of get rid of them. I'd like to sell them. I wouldn't like to just throw them all out and burn the whole lot and get rid of it all. It's quite a lot of money there, 147,000, and at 20 over dollars, or close to $30 it's selling for at the moment. That's a lot of money. So that's one thing I'm going to have to think about. So let's keep that figure in mind, that 147, and go back to marketing. Now, for forecasting in marketing, I'm going to forecast what I want to sell, which was 147. And if I don't put anything in there, I'll get the benchmark prediction. I absolutely don't want that. I'm not worrying about those now. The exercise today is just to show you about how I delete a product. So I've got 147 there. Now the price, we're charging 35 at the moment, which is the upper end of the bracket there. If you look at what they really wanted in terms of price, it might pay to now go and have a look at this. I want to get rid of what I've got left over. Price at the moment is 34.50 is a maximum, so that's really high. 35 is very high. I don't think I really want to be that way. I mightn't sell them. It could be just too expensive for them, and I want to get rid of them. So I'm gonna the lowest they'll accept is like 24.50. Anything under 24.50, and they'd think it wasn't wasn't worthwhile buying. So because I want to get rid of them, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to reduce the price. I don't want any left over. So I've reduced the price. I've forecast what I'm going to sell, which is basically the inventory I have, the leftover stock. I'm not going to add any more into sales and promotion at the moment. There's a carryover effect from what I spent last year. It's decreased, of course, but I don't have to have I'm not after selling a real lot, so I'll just leave that go. We'll recalculate. I've lowered the price. I've forecasted the inventory that I have. And now let's come back to production again. Production schedule. Well, I don't want to produce anything, so let's put a 0 in there. Now, another thing that I need to do here as well, and that's my capacity. Now, I'm not going to make anything, and yet I still have all the equipment to be able to make 600,000. Well, I don't need that anymore. I'm not going to use that equipment anymore, so I can sell it. Now, to sell it, I need to. I don't want to sell the whole 600 straight away. I need to leave at least one in there. I need to leave one in the one there just to keep the production line open, so as that we can get rid of the 147 that I've got. I'm not making any more, but I need to have that open to just to get rid of that. So I'm going to put there minus, because I want to sell. If I wanted to buy, I'd put plus. I'll just put 5.99, but now I want to put minus 5.99 and recalculate. And that is now leaves me with one there, which will allow me to be able to get rid of all of that inventory, hopefully. And I've also sold this off. Now see this red here. Normally red's not a good thing, but this is good and bad. It's good because that's actually 7.008 million that will come back into the company that I can use for other things this year or other years. But it's bad because that money that I've got there is only 60% of what I actually paid for that capacity. Because I bought the capacity brand new. For example, when I was investing in capacity, it's brand new. When I go to sell it, it's second hand, so I don't get all the money back again. But nevertheless, I want to get out of that segment. I need to get rid of that, and I can put this money to better use. So we're not forecasting anything. I've got rid of most of this. We'll just have a bit of a drop into finance, and we'll see what happens here. And there we go there. There's 7,008. That was the money that I got back from selling the second-hand capacity. A few other things here. That red is not a good one, and that red's not a good one, but that's another day and a different story. Now, let's go and have a look at what we've got then. Go up to File, Update Visual Decisions. Always want to make sure that you've done that. Now, we're going to exit. Now, this time we're exiting. And we want to go to the next round. And we want to go to advance the next game. And we want to go yes, advance. And we'll go across to decisions. Launch the web spreadsheet. Whew, get tired just working my way through this. And we're back at the front page again. So let's go and have a look at what happened. R&D. Well, okay, well, let's just, while we're here, look where Adam is. I never touched it, remember? It drifts, because these, every year, these move down. They gradually move all the time towards this, because customer expect them all to get a bit more powerful and all to get a bit smaller. Anyway, again, we're just going to leave that one there, but we're interested in having a look at a gape. So let's go and have a look at production. And we can see I've got no inventory left. I've sold all the inventory, which is fantastic. I've still got that one unit there. So what I might do now is just tidy it up. I've done everything I wanted to do.